Jesus. There's no one like him. There's no one like Jesus. There's no one like him. There is no one like Jesus. There is no one like him. There's no one like Jesus. There is no one like him. There is no one like Jesus. There is no one like him. Sing to him. There's no one like Jesus. There's no one like him. There is no one like Jesus. There's no one like him. There is no one like Jesus. There's no one like him. Like waka 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 waka. No one. Searching. No one. I turn around. No one. There's no one like him. I'm searching. No one. I turn around. No one. There's no one. Hey, waka. No one. I'm searching. No one. I turn around. No one. There's no one like him. Hallelujah. Give the Lord your hand. Hallelujah. There is no one like him. He is worthy of our praise today. There is none like him. There's no one. What shall we not do? My polo go right. But so shame in la do. My polo go right. Oh, shame in la do. My polo go right. But so shame in la do. My polo go right. Oh, shame in la do. Oh, shame in la do. He's in control, he's in full control, Master Jesus. He's in control, he's in control, he's in control, he's in control of your life, he's in control of his church, he's in control of your life, he's in control, he's in full control, Master Jesus. He's in control, he's in control, he's in full control, Master Jesus. He's in control, say he's in control, he's in control, he's in full control, Master Jesus. He's in control, he's in control, he's in control, Master Jesus. He's in control, he's in control, he's in control, he's in full control, Master Jesus. He's in control. Hallelujah. Give it a dance. Come on. What shall I say unto the Lord? All I have to say is thank you, Lord. What shall I say unto the Lord? All I have to say is thank you, Lord. I said, what shall I say unto
appreciate God for what He has done. Let's lift up this conference into the hands of the Lord. Today, we are opening the King's Daughters Conference. Let's lift up today every activity that we have, everything we have tomorrow, everything we have on Friday, Saturday, everything that the Lord has packaged for you. You will not miss it in the mighty name of Jesus. Your coming here will not be in vain. The enemy will not steal what God has packaged for you in the mighty name of Jesus. In 2 minutes, talk to the Lord. In our lives, financially, you will do a new thing. In the mighty name of Jesus. Spiritually, do a new thing, oh God. In Jesus' mighty name. In Jesus' mighty name, we are praying. Finally, let's commit today's session into the hands of the Lord. Tell the Lord, I will not come here in vain. In Jesus' name. Concerning today's session, my coming here will not be in vain. In the mighty name of Jesus. Whether you are into business, whether you are into ministry, whether you are a civil worker, whatever it is, there's something to learn. Pray that the Holy Spirit will open your understanding, open your eyes tonight in the mighty name of Jesus. Mighty name we are praying. Amen. I want to welcome everybody, but I also want you to welcome the person next to you. Just welcome the person next to you. You're all welcome in Jesus' name. We're still expecting so many outreaches. They're on the way tonight. They're not here yet. We have about 10 outreaches coming to join us. All in transit. Of the Lord, We started this morning with a business fair on the other side of the auditorium, and it has been glorious. We've been there since 12 noon. People have had different sales, brought all sorts of things to sell, and the Lord has been so good, so faithful. If you haven't been a part of it, when we finish these sessions, you can still go back there and buy a few things. Praise the Lord. Without wasting any more time, we have to move on. I want to welcome all the outreaches that are here tonight. People have sacrificed their time, effort to be here. Praise Outreach is in the house. Hallelujah. Praise Outreach. You are welcome. Praise Outreach is an outreach of the sanctuary. Any other outreach? I saw a sister coming with some bags. Any other outreach in the house? Victory Sanctuary. Hallelujah. I think there are one or two other outreaches, but they will join us with time. Praise the Lord. This evening, we are going to be listening to a talk on planning your legacy. The topic of our conference is the woman, her legacy, and her Lord. As a woman, what legacy are you going to leave behind? And when I talk about leaving behind, I'm not talking about death. In the evening of your life, when you look around, you are going to see the fruits of the seeds you have planted in the earlier years. What are those fruits going to look like? That is what we're here to discuss tonight. Your legacy is not just financial. When you look up the word legacy, it refers to some money or something that has been left behind for a person. But when you talk about your legacy generally, it is so wide. You can leave a legacy in almost anything. You can leave a legacy of behavior. You can leave a legacy of good health. It could be anything. As we live our day-to-day lives as women, we are saying in this conference today that you must be legacy conscious. You must be conscious of what you are leaving behind for the generation behind you, because every woman is a generation. Praise the Lord. So as you grow older, whether you have children or not, you must begin to ask yourself, the way I'm behaving, the things I'm doing, the things I'm saying, the way I'm living, I'm being watched, I'm sowing seeds. What are people seeing about me? What are my children seeing about me that they are going to take? After I'm gone, what are they going to say about me? Mommy used to do this, mommy used to say this. Are they going to say, mommy used to do this, we want to be like her? Or are they going to say, my mother used to do this and I don't want to be a part of it? There are women who have left legacies of alcoholism, and their children don't want to be like them. It won't be our portion in Jesus' name. So we're saying this evening that we want to leave a legacy of spirituality, of godliness for our children, for our kin, and the Lord will help us in Jesus' name. This evening in particular, we're talking about leaving a legacy of wealth, a legacy of financial stability. The Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Yes or no? A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So what legacy are you leaving behind? We're going to be listening to Mrs. Henrietta Bankole Olushino. Please put your hands together for her. She's the Managing Director of ARM Financial Advisors, the subsidiary of the ARM Group, where she's responsible for digital financial service offerings and distribution for the ARM Group. She also serves as the Group Head of Corporate Transformation and Executive, responsible for IT at the ARM Group. How many of us have heard of ARM? Asset Resource, you know, the people that do the investment. You can open account, you can open long-term accounts, investment funds. You can do something for your children right from the time they are little. I know lots of children have mutual funds, investment funds, and all that. She's a graduate of the University of Lagos and holds a master's in business administration and specialization in corporate strategy and economic policy from the Maastricht School of Management. She has over 20 years experience working with leading global and local organizations in the financial services industry. Until August 2015, she was the management consulting lead for the financial services industry and head of payments and mobility at Accenture, where her career spanned over 14 working years on large-scale enterprise and industry transformation initiatives. Henrietta is also the Executive Secretary of the Fund Managers Association of Nigeria and currently serves as the Chairman of the Financial Inclusion Working Group and member of the National Financial Inclusion Technical Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria. She was the Vice Co-Chair of the Editorial Committee and member of the Joint Planning Committee for the Nigeria Economic Summit 24 on behalf of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group in 2018. In addition, she serves on the Board of Governors of the Courier Regis School, a full-fledged faith-based school of RCCG, the King's Court. She resides in Lagos and is happily married with children. Without wasting much time, let's welcome with Jesus joy Mrs. Henrietta Bankole Olushino. She'll be coming to us on planning your legacy. Thank you so much, Henrietta. I forgot to mention that Henrietta was my classmate in high school. So it's a great reunion. Thank you so much for coming.
Praise God. Good afternoon. I'm very honored to be here this afternoon. Without much ado, I will go straight into my presentation. When Pastor Deborah called me and she wanted specifically for me to speak about financial planning, I thought it was a very good idea when she shared with me the topic, which is the lady, her legacy and her Lord. I thought, you know, what better way to introduce the topic of financial planning than through talking about legacy. One thing I find in talking to people about financial planning is that you have to have a certain level of determination. with financial planning. And if technical can just help me with my presentation so I can take off. You have to have a certain level of determination, because very easily life happens, you know, things come up every day. How many people have noticed how when it's approaching, for those of you who either own your business or you work, as we're approaching the end of the month, you start getting all sorts of text messages. Somebody is not feeling well, they need money for hospital or drugs. Somebody needs this, somebody needs that. Constantly, and it's as if it's like clockwork, almost like a week before, you start receiving all those messages. But the thing about financial planning is you need to be determined. You need to determine in your mind that no matter what happens, you are going to do it. Because even the Bible tells us that if we're faithful in the little, then God is able to give us much more, isn't it? So no matter how, you know, tough it is, we just need to be determined. That's one thing. The second thing is, it is not about how much you have. Financial planning is, people say to me, oh, I don't earn that much, so I don't understand where I'm going to get this money to save or invest. The truth is that if you are indeed faithful in little, you will be faithful with much. And so no matter how little you think it is about consistency and it is about determination. I just wanted to establish that up front. Okay, so today we're really going to discuss about financial planning, and that's really what we need to do to lay or leave behind this legacy we're talking about, particularly to do with investments. It's about financial planning. We're going to talk about how we can indeed leave a legacy for investments, and then also provide some insights into the available investment options that we have. Next slide, please. And so this is our lives every day. Every day, every month, like clockwork, there are things that are chasing the income, whether you own your business or you are a salary earner. That income does not necessarily grow month on month, does it? Am I missing something? Does your income increase every month? Absolutely not. Mine certainly doesn't. So the income remains the same, but the things that are chasing it, whether it is Ashoebi, for those who do it, I personally don't, because I think it is a waste of money, personally. And, you know, just even thinking about the meaning, Ashoebi is really for family. But we have taken it out of context, and we do Ashoebi for 1,000 people. And I'm wondering, how can you have 1,000 people in your family? And that's just me, you know, and we'll talk about the ways we can cut down and actually be able to invest and leave this legacy behind. So different things, school fees, those are genuine needs. We really want our children. How many of us want our children to be better than us? Absolutely right. We want to give them the best education. We want them to go to places that we were never able to go to. And that's genuine. We want to own our homes. We want to be able to live in decent houses. So whether we're paying rent, we're paying a mortgage, or we outrightly buy a house, there are costs that come with all of those things. And they're all constantly chasing this our income. Next slide. And so, whatever goals or aspirations we have, all really have a financial implication. To the woman who says, I want to give my children the best education, or the one who says, I want to have a vacation, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that if you can afford it. Or the one that says, I want to be able to plan my retirement and know exactly how I'm going to have my later years laid out from a financial standpoint. And that's genuine too. Or when I retire, I actually want to start a business, and I want to be able to fund that business. Or I want to own real estate, which is also a genuine need. To, I want to leave a legacy. They're all nice and great, but the truth is that they all have financial implications. Next slide. But the issue is, for many, very many people, we have no clue how and where we stand in terms of our finances. I talk to a lot of people, and when we start the process of financial planning, you absolutely almost always have to know what you have and what you don't have. And you have to be as honest with yourself and with your financial planner as possible. So for many people, I ask them, what is your net worth? And I ask you this evening, what is your net worth? Do you know? Do you know what you have versus what you don't have? Many people don't have a clue what they own and what they are owing. Now, if you net off both, that is indeed your net worth. But many people don't have a visibility of that at all. Do you find that you're constantly worrying about money? Constantly worrying about money, about what to do, to pay bills and things like that? Do you find, or do you think that if you were to lose your job or not be able to work for an extended period, a month or 2 or 3, what do you think will happen? You know, I said to my husband that there's this thing in Lagos. I call them, or call us, or the Prado generation. The Prado generation are these executives that are really 1 month away from poverty. They're 1 month away from poverty because the company gives them a car, a Prado, and they feel they have a Jeep. If they were not paid for 1 month, their family will not be able to feed because they have mortgaged their lives for years in advance. They have loans for their houses are on loans, their children are going to school on loans. So really, they're 1 month away from poverty. Now, that is a dangerous thing because if we continue to live as if there was no tomorrow, how are we going to leave a legacy? How are we going to be able to leave a legacy? Ideally, from a financial planning standpoint, you should have in an emergency fund up to 6 months worth of your salary today. So you should have stored up because you never know. You could fall ill, you could be laid off, and I've seen it happen. You know, part of my job when I was a consultant, some of it was nice, some not so nice. Some of the things I've had to do have included laying off people, executives from companies, because the company was downsizing or they were merging. And you know that in a merger, you don't need 2 CFOs, do you? You don't need 2 chief accountants. You don't need 2 managing directors, even if you were a managing director. And so one of those people would have to go. You know, there was, back in 2006, as part of a merger of about 3 or 4 banks, there was a general manager that I had to counsel out of an organization, my client. And you know, he came into the room, there was myself and the head of HR, and then that was when we told him that his services were no longer needed. And he looked at us and said, you know, this could be you. And we said, yes, we know, it could be us, and that's the truth. He said, should I give you my car keys now? Because he came to work that day with the company's car. And if we were to take that car from him, he would no longer have a car. And we said to him, don't worry. Go home, tell your family, tell your wife, and then you can drop off the car another day. I say this story often because that day it dawned on me that indeed, this Prado generation, we need to be very, very careful, and we need to be very deliberate about leaving a legacy, and that's what we're talking about. So really, are we borrowing money for living expenses? Do we know what interest rates, even if we have loans? Many people don't know how much they're paying for the loans that they have. You know, I was reading something during the week, and they were speaking specifically about the microfinance banks. The microfinance banks are very happy to loan you money, but then the rate at which they're loaning you that money is extremely high. 36% per annum. It is for some 40%, 48%. And people not having that understanding of the burden of the interest rates that they're going to, or the amount they're going to have to pay, sometimes more than double of what they borrowed, and taking those loans. And so many times you find that people don't have an understanding of their financial health in itself, and that can be a challenge if you're trying to leave a legacy. Next slide. And so financial independence, yes, can it be achieved? It can. And I maintain that it is not about how much you have, because irrespective, the principles remain the same. If you spend less than you earn, and you save and invest for the rainy day, over time, consistently, you will have financial independence. Do you understand what I mean? Are we in agreement? Because it's a fundamental principle. If you spend less than you earn, in fact, the better if you spend considerably less than you earn, and you're able to put away for the rainy day consistently, consistency is the word here, consistently over time with discipline, over time you will come to financial independence. So it's not a function of what you earn or what you have at any given point in time. It is really partly about your income and your expense, yes, but it is mostly about planning. I have a friend, a girlfriend, today she's an executive in UBA, and we were colleagues back at my former consulting firm where I worked. And she is a classic example. You know, when she finished NYSC, if I remember back then, we were paid maybe 5,000 naira or so. We were paid 5,000 naira as youth corpers, and then the company would give you maybe just a stipend for transport and all of that. But she ended her NYSC year with savings of close to 100,000 naira. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? Back then, it was 5,000 naira, so if you multiply it, 60,000. And then the company maybe gave you another 10,000 or something. She ended that year with 100,000 naira savings. Several years later, she was able to buy her first car, brand new, without a loan. So I maintain again that it's not about how much you have, it is about the consistency in your behavior of financial planning. Next slide. Now, financial planning is really just about determining how you want to meet your financial needs and how you actually want to do it through the proper management of resources. It's simple. There's nothing more about it. It's really about putting your financial resources to work for you. Next slide. Now, I spoke about a candid self-assessment. We must always start with that. Being extremely honest with ourselves. I know people who have never had to draw a budget in their lives, for themselves, for their family, or for anybody else. To actually start financial planning, you need to take paper and biro and actually write, you know, the way they taught us accounting 101 or basic accounting in secondary school or university, where you have the asset side, you have the liability side, and you start to pen down all the assets that are in your name and all the liabilities that are in your name. Women, I must warn you here, because I've seen very many clients who, women, find themselves in a bind because they have signed documents that they have no understanding of what those documents contain. So in the event that your husband asks you to sign off on a document that actually makes you owe large quantities of money that you have no ability to pay back, should anything happen to him, or should that business go bust, you need to be very, very careful, because the truth is that if it's a bank, they will come after you. They will not say that, oh, he was the principal and you were the second. Provided your signature is on that document, and I have seen it happen time and time again. What I say to my clients is, you need to understand everything that you have, every documentation you are giving, everything you are signing, you need to understand exactly what it means. What it means for you, what it means for your children, what it means for your generations to come. So that's something that is very, very critical. In understanding and painting that realistic picture of what it is that you, of where you are, you know, what your spending habits are, what your saving patterns are, and things like that. And the concept of delayed gratification, I know that we do not have that as a principle. We generally are people who want it and we want it now. And the truth is, because we are in the digital age, you see, in fact, all of the digital adverts chase you from page to page. How many people does that thing happen to? Whether you're on Instagram, anywhere you are, if you make the mistake of clicking on one product, everywhere you go on the web is chasing after you. And you feel that you are not okay until you buy it or until you spend money on it. The challenge with this digital age is everybody fears that they are missing out on something by not buying or following what the crowd is doing. People feel that life is as people live it on Instagram and Facebook, which is not the truth. And so people are struggling to gratify themselves on a daily basis, even with money that they do not have. Next slide. And so, having understood what your status is, you need to then sit back and think about what the available investment options are. So we'll start with cash. Cash is of absolutely no value. That's the truth. It's really just paper. And beyond your ability to exchange it for goods and services, it gives you nothing. And if you are one of those who believe in keeping and holding a lot of cash, really it's a waste of what we used to call, what is called opportunity cost. It's a waste. Because cash has, yes, the lowest risk, because yes, you can see it, you can feel it, you can touch it, but it also has the very lowest return. There's absolutely no return. In fact, you run the risk of that cash being stolen. Now, so for you to leave a legacy and for you to save and invest, let us agree that cash is not a form of investment in itself. It's of no value to anyone. Now, moving on to savings and checking accounts. If many people feel comfortable with leaving money in the banks because, hey, I know the bank, they've been around for 100 years, they've been around for 50 or so on, odd number of years. But the truth is, leaving money in your savings and checking accounts is also wasting an investment opportunity. Because in the real sense, a savings account will at best give you 3% or 4% in terms of returns. That's absolutely of very little if you think about all of the effort. And I have a couple of examples where I talk about the difference between savings and investment, so we get a sense of what I'm talking about. So savings and checking, really, the risk is low, yes, but the return is also next to nothing, is low, 3 to 4%, like I said. Now, you have 10 deposits. 10 deposits are products that you, or placements that you make in the bank, and again, it's tied to how much you have. And the real principle is the more you have, the more your ability to actually negotiate a better term. And that's how it works. So somebody who has, so for example, banks have different cutoffs for your ability to even have a fixed deposit. I think some banks, you have to start with in the minimum 100,000, and for some it's 500. They will not even talk to you at all if you don't have that quantum. But remember, I keep saying, or I've said severally today, that investment should not be about how much you have. Are we together? Absolutely. So it should not be about how much you have. So clearly, that product, fixed deposits, cannot be a product that because the returns are not that great, number one, and then you have to have a whole lot to be able to command the type of interest that even begins to make reasonable sense. Again, reasonable sense, if you look at what inflation is saying, you need to factor that into your investment decisions. So next we go to treasury bills. It's beginning to get more interesting here. So today, depending on the duration, I think for a 364-day treasury bill, if you were going to leave money in, maybe you will be able to, somewhere between the range of 11 to 13.5%. Let's say that's the window. Now it becomes more interesting because you are factoring in, or you are able to deal with inflation and things like that will impact the time value of money. Government and corporate bonds, again, about that same range. And the risk is risk-free because it's backed by the federal government. It's a federal government instrument, and so it's risk-free. Risk-free being you are not likely to lose the money at all or lose your investments at all. Now we move on to balanced mutual funds. What those are instruments that have a mix, or products that have a mix of different instruments in them. So they will have some treasury bills, they will have some corporate and government bonds, but they will also have stocks. Now, I know that for those of us that have been around long enough, many people are afraid of the stock market, the equities market. Many people remember how many people remember the loans that people, the equity loans that people had in 2008? Does anybody remember? And quite a number of people got burnt. I remember that. The stock market remains one of the avenues for capital appreciation. But the trick is many people expect to go in and come out and get their returns almost immediately. But the stock market is more longer term. You have to have a longer view in terms of I want to ride the market over time for you to gain the appreciation that you need. And I'll give you an example. 2017, with all of the volatility that we saw in Nigeria, we went into a recession in that year. If you bought a stock on the 1st of January and you were still holding on to that stock by 31st of December 2017, the Nigerian capital market increased in terms of value by 42.3% in that year, in 2017. So all of the turbulence that we saw with the Naira devaluing or devalued, with the nation going into recession, our capital market, in terms of, if you looked at across, even in terms of global performance, we actually were number 2 in our capital market performance, the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So again, there's a cycle we need to understand that is for the long term and not the short term. So those are balanced mutual funds. Now, there are growth mutual funds that are primarily targeted at growth stocks on the stock exchange, and they typically will buy stocks that are growing at a very aggressive rate, for want of a better way to put it, and they will aggregate those stocks, also including some government treasury bills, government bonds, as well as corporate bonds as well. And so in terms of returns, they have typically higher returns. And then the real store of value is real estate, where right up there you have the highest return potential, and bear in mind also that it also gives risk. Risk in the sense that if you were to purchase real estate for speculation, and all of or some of your fundamental assumptions are wrong, such as, will people be here in the next 10 years? Will there be roads? Will there be water? And things like that. If you get all of those things wrong, it's likely that you will not gain as much capital appreciation as you expect to have, as this chart suggests. So now we've spoken about available investment options. We will then go into the steps for proper planning. Next slide, please. Yes. So the first thing is to set your goals. Set your financial goals. Very many people start the year with their with spiritual goals. So you pray and you come up with all the points. But people hardly set their financial goals, which basically is, by the end of this year, I want to have invested X for myself, for my children. I want to be able to do X, Y, Z from a financial standpoint. And so you start off with setting that financial goal, clearly written or on a sheet of paper. You identify the goals, you narrow down the objectives a bit, and then understand what your risk appetite and tolerance is. Now, risk appetite and tolerance is very, very important, and it has to do with two key things. The first is about your age. If you are below 40, could potentially be, let's take it down a notch. So if you were below 30 or 34, if you were below 30, single perhaps, working, your risk appetite and your ability to take risks is higher because you aren't thinking about your family, your children, their future yet. But if you are now 40, 45, you have children in school, you are beginning to think about retirement and planning for retirement, your risk appetite is definitely at a lower threshold because the risks you would have been able to take as a young person, you are no longer able to take. In fact, a proper financial planner will not advise you to take those type of risks. So such as, for example, should you take a mortgage when you're 45 or should you take a mortgage when you're 25? Which is better? Absolutely, exactly. So those types of decisions, you need to think about where you are in your own journey in life and determine what things you are able to withstand and not take decisions that can potentially strip you of your financial assets in your later years. So you need to be very careful. Now, you then review your personal goals and then build a budget. For many people, they've never had to live on a budget. But the year I did this for the first time was extremely liberating for me because it was clear to me the things that I was personally wasting money on, i.e. Ashoebi that I spoke about earlier. it dawned on me that there was really no sense in me buying these pieces of cloth that I would wear only once, and I'm blowing 20,000, 25,000 naira in one go. If they have called it Ashoebi and it is for family, then let family wear it. So now, anybody that is inviting me to anything, I just say, what is the color? In fact, sometimes I don't bother asking the color, I show up. And if I show up, it should be enough for you that I actually showed up. But imagine putting together all the Ashoebi money and deciding that I'm going to invest it. It's a whole lot of money, isn't it? I don't see you guys agreeing with me. It's a whole lot of money, isn't it? Absolutely. And so it is little things like that that you find by the time you are forced to build a budget. You will see things that are stripping you of this plan and this ability to leave this legacy, because they are wasting money. And so, you know, you build that budget. So I like enjoyment, so don't be fooled, right? Everybody will have what it is that they like and what it is that they do for relaxation, because it's important, okay? But you then need to put a price that you have fixed on it and not society has placed on it for you. Do you understand what I mean? Do you understand what I mean? Absolutely. So it is you setting the goal for yourself to say, yes, once a month, I am going to treat myself to the spa. And that's a cost I can bear, because I know by the time I arrange my finances this way, I can take that 20,000 naira to do it. But if in a month you find that you have a bill of, after you've done everything, you have a bill of lace and Ashoebi of 100,000, there's a problem. Because guess what? You're going to wear it only once. And it becomes rags in your house. So you need to build your budget very, very deliberately. And then, next one, please. And then you have strategies to achieve each of your goals. Now, typically as you develop the strategy, you will have a short-term goal, you will have your long-term goal, a medium-term goal, and the long-term goals. What you need to do for short-term, medium-term, and long-term will be different. I have a friend who in 2003, he put money in the Nigerian stock market. I forget the exact amount that he put in. He put money in the stock market, and the market was on the high. And his plan was he was trying to build a house in Lekki Phase 1. So he put money in the stock market, and just as the market began to tank, he took the money out, bought half a plot of land in Lekki Phase 1, and built his house. Now, he kept that money in the stock market for about, it was a 4-year period or so. So I'm saying that if you in your mind think, I want to be able to build my house, that is more of a long-term goal. So you will put it under the bucket of long-term goals. If you're in 2 to 3 years, I want to be able to fund my children's education in one of the, or any of the best schools that I believe are so, you then put that maybe in your medium-term bucket. And then for short-term things like, I need to pay rent today, I need to pay bills today, those are more short-term. You need to put your goals in short-term, medium-term, and long-term buckets, and then you match those objectives with the instruments that you put the money in. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is it clear? Okay. So the name of the game is diversity. The idea is never to put everything in one basket. No. Because guess what? If you put all your eggs in one basket, how many of you know that basket can drop and all the eggs break? Yes? Yes, literally. So it's the same principle, diversity. So you will put in different instruments that match the objectives that you have set out. Next, please. And then is to implement. But the key around implementation is discipline. I started off by talking about discipline and determination. And I'll just share ability to hold on and, be very, sometimes you have to be extremely focused about what you're trying to achieve. And so being disciplined. Next. and then monitor and review. What I like to do is to do a monthly review to see how well I am doing in achieving the plan that I have laid out. Next slide. So just to put some context, and I'm very deliberate about this, around what I've been talking about, savings versus investment. Imagine that you have a 20-year-old Joyce who makes a one-time 5,000 naira investment in a mutual fund, say a money market fund. In 2017, the total performance or the yield for the money market fund was 17.1% in 2017, as at December. So I'm using that rate here. If she makes that one-time investment, so imagine that it's her 20th birthday, she gets a gift of 5,000 naira and she puts it in the mutual fund at 17%. That one-time investment, by the time she becomes 65, that money on it by itself, she did nothing else, is 5.9 million. That one-time investment. But if she makes that one-time investment in a savings account, and today we know that savings accounts are about 4%, so 4.07 is what we used. That same 5,000 naira, when she becomes 65, will be 30,000 naira. Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference? Absolutely. Now, let's take it up one notch and say, because investment is about not only the principle, it's also about timing. If Joyce waits till she's 39, she waits for 19 years before she makes that 5,000 naira investment, right? Using the same rate, she will only make 296,000 naira by the time she's 65, at the rate of 17%. So understand that investment is about timing. Every day that passes by is a missed opportunity to live and build this legacy. Every single day. Now, not to talk about the savings. For the savings, if she waited till she was 39 as well, it will just be 14,000 naira at the rate of 4.07%. So timing is critical. Next slide. Now, it can get better because investment thrives when not only you do it on time, you have your principal, really, you do it on time, but consistency is critical. Now, if Joyce decides that instead of doing that one-time 5,000 naira, she decides every year from when she was 20 that she will continue to invest 5,000 naira only in this money market fund at 17%. By the time she's 65, that money is 46 million naira. By the time she's 65. Consistency. Now, if we looked at savings for the exact same principle, it would be 672,000 naira only. Next slide. And so, for investments, you need to start early. You know, when you go for naming ceremonies of family, friends, now I don't give people cash anymore. I give the children money market fund vouchers so they can open investment accounts as they are born. And what that does is, and I encourage the parents to actually continue to invest on behalf of their children. Because you will look back one day. I know someone who, you know, he saw my MD and I were, my CEO, my group CEO and I were at the airport. And this gentleman rushes to her and says, "Oh, I've been looking for you. I was trying to get an IV to you. Remember my daughter?" And he names the daughter, who he had opened an account for with ARM back in almost 25 years ago. That girl, with the investment that he had made, and he was consistently putting money, she had gone to school, she had graduated, and she was getting married. So imagine, and he was saying to my group CEO, he was thanking her to say, "Thank you so much for the investment advice that you gave me, forcing me to plan financially." And so we want to be able to look back and say, we started early. Starting early, the younger you start, the more time you have, the more you're able to put away, the more the compounding will be able to work for you. Because it's the simple principle they taught us in school of compound interest. Do you remember? Yes, compound interest, that's what it is. It's principal, time, and what else? Rates, that's it. The more time you spend, the more you're able to get it to work for you. But hey, if you haven't started, all is not lost. The next best time to start is now. Now you are armed with the knowledge and with the understanding. Start now. All is not lost. But be very deliberate. Regularity, consistency. That's one word I've come to like very much. Because what I find, many people think consistent is an okay word, it's average, it's normal. But with discipline, it is only with discipline that people are consistent at what they do. And the truth is that without consistency, we will never finish. It takes commitment to start, but it takes consistency to finish. Day in, day out, doggedly doing the same thing. Once you start a journey and you're consistent and you're going with it, then you can be guaranteed of a good finish. So make regular investments. Don't be haphazard about it. In fact, what I do is I set up direct debits. I don't even want to see the money. It just goes. For myself, my children, it just goes. So do that, Make those regular investments and let it just go into those investment accounts, and you put a cap and say, I don't want to even have to touch it for anything. And then be patient. Don't touch the money. Investments are not meant to be touched. Like I said, you need to be deliberate. You need to have an emergency fund. An emergency fund, your target should be 6 months worth of your monthly salary. And what that is should anything happen, you have money that you can fall back on immediately without having to break into your investments. Investments should be locked down for years and not be touched. And that's the right principle. But you just need to persevere. We need to persevere. Next slide. I'd like to end with this slide. So for the purpose of leaving a legacy, be very deliberate. I go back to how I started this afternoon. That is about two things. It's about being deliberate and determined, and it's about consistency. So after you pay your tithes, pay yourself second. What people typically do is, as they get their salary or as they earn money from their business, they put their hand in and they take out for all manners of expenses. Stop doing that. Be very deliberate and be very calm. In fact, on the day you receive that salary, determine in your mind, the first thing you take out is that tithe. You take it out. The next thing you take out is your own pay. That's what I call it, my pay. In my own instance, it's a direct debit that I have set up. So that direct debit will hit on the day my salary hits. And it takes out into the 5 different accounts that I have set up. So you pay yourself second. You put your money to work for you. Create for yourself an emergency fund. I recommend that you put money away, a certain amount of money away, to build this emergency fund, which is in the minimum 6 months worth of your monthly salary. You should be able to live and subsist for up to a year should anything happen and you are not able to work. Now, for many people, retirement is a reality. For those in the formal sector, we have retirement savings accounts, and so our employers are paying monies into that account, hopefully. Now, for those who are not, there's a good opportunity that is now available. There's a micro pension scheme that has just been launched by the pensions regulator, PENCOM. And what it is you no longer have to be in formal employment to open a retirement savings account. So you can walk into any of the pension fund administrators and open an account for yourself. And what it is you are funding that account towards your own retirement for yourself. We need to be, the generation of people who are waiting for children to take care of them in old age, that generation is going. Are you with me? Are you with me? Absolutely. So we need, as women, to be prepared because retirement is going to happen to us whether we like it or not. So we need to be ready. So take advantage of the micro pension scheme if you run your own business and start to put money away towards your own pensions and start to contribute to that. Go to any of the Notice I'm not saying you must come to ARM Pensions. I'm saying go to any of the pension fund administrators, open an account, and start to put money. In fact, better still, just do a direct debit. The direct debit always helps because you don't touch the money. Now, the next thing is life insurance. And I recognize that I'm saying this in a church, and I've said it in very many churches, that life insurance does not in any way negate our faith in God, in his ability to heal, in his ability to save, and his ability to deliver. Life insurance is just a safety net that provides for the life or for the livelihood of the insured in the case of any eventuality. And that's all it is. You want to go away knowing that I have left something for my children or for my other beneficiaries should anything were to happen to me today. So getting life insurance is basically choosing a good product, choosing a good, with good terms, and just paying that premium. Many cases, premium can be as low as 10,000 naira, and you get a coverage of 1 million naira, which means that should anything happen, the family will get 1 million naira in the eventuality that that person passes on. And that's all it is. It doesn't negate your faith or our belief in God. Open a stockbroking account. And I know that not everybody believes in stocks or believes in the equity market. Again, it's down to our risk and our risk appetite. If you are young and you believe and you have long-term goals, then the stock market should be for you. But if you do not have the knowledge that you need, then find a good stockbroker and have that conversation with a stockbroker. Real estate. Invest in real estate. Real estate is the one sure store of value over time, consistently. Like I said, if your fundamental assumptions remain true, which is even if it's an area where there are no people living today, will people be living there in another couple of years? Will there be roads? Will there be water? Will there be infrastructure? If the answer to that is yes, then by all means, there are different prices. People say, oh, it's also expensive. But they're different. That's why, you know, there are different prices and there are different locations. Pricing is down to location. But start small. I know people who invested in Ikorodu back in the days. And today, the whole area is built up. The value of their property has appreciated. So we just need to start in wherever we find ourselves. Start no matter how little. So invest in real estate is extremely important. It's the one good store of value. Now, finally, I close here. Get a will and plan your estate. It's very important that you have documented everything you have. Everything you have documented properly, so that in any eventuality, they know exactly what to do and where to get what they need. We don't have a culture in Nigeria of people who necessarily like keeping records. We don't keep records well, because when we think about things like death and when we talk about wills, our immediate response is Ọlọ́run má jẹ́. Yes, Ọlọ́run má jẹ́. But we need to do exactly what is sensible to do. And I recognize I'm speaking with women. Lest your husband thinks you're trying to kill him off by asking him to write a will. Understood? We're saying ask them gently, because you need to know what you have versus what you don't have. It's extremely important that you sit down as a family and you plan your estate together. I close by saying, without commitment, it is impossible to start. But without consistency, it is impossible to finish. So with determination and consistency, I implore all of you to leave a legacy as you originally intended. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Henrietta. We're going into the question and answer session without wasting much time. Do we have any questions? Women first. It's our program. I expect ladies to ask questions on, you've given me all this information, are there real life examples of where I can go? For example, I have my little business or my side hustle that I'm running. Now I want to do real estate. I want to buy something. What can I buy now? I may not be able to do a house in VGC or house in those nice estates that they're putting together now, but what can I do for now? For something like putting your estate together, writing your will, what office do you go to do that? Or do you get a lawyer? You know, all those questions, this is where we can ask them. So maybe you can take those two questions first and then we...
Okay, I'm always very wary about recommending, especially when I'm in a church. If I was in a sales pitch somewhere, I would know how to say it. So I'm always very wary. But in terms of, there's simple will products today, for example, where you go online and you're able to actually complete that will for, I think, 20,000 naira. So you really don't need a lawyer. You complete it online and you actually are able to register. Once you lodge it at the High Court, then it's recognized as a will. So just 20,000 naira. In terms of the website, I think I'll just cross-check now. We do have an offering, but I know that there are several other providers that also have those will products as well. In terms of land, there are different. So ARM has a subsidiary called Mixter Nigeria, where we have different types of properties, ranging from plots of land to houses that are available for sale. If you see any of our salespeople who are out there in the tent, they will provide you all of the information that you need. So whether it's on service plots or service plots of land or houses or flats or 3 to 4 bedroom type houses, those are also available within our stable as well. But what I would say is about land is you need to be very careful about, because all of the Omonile challenges that people have typically in Lagos State. So you just need to be very sure about who you're buying from. Always cross-check what type of credentials they have. Credentials being, speak to people who have bought from them before. Speak to people who are living in their estates. Be sure that you're buying from somebody who has done it over and over again so that they're not using you as a guinea pig. You know, a colleague of mine was speaking yesterday about somebody who had come to us after being 419 somewhere else. So we just need to be very, very careful.
Any other questions? Please come out if you have a question.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes. To save time.
Good evening, everyone. All right, mine is not actually a question. It's just to add to what she said regarding buying land. I'm a lawyer, so I understand how it works. My advice would be to be very careful of those who tell you excision in progress or in process. They're trying to tell you that, okay, we're working on we're doing the paperwork, it's in process. It's a gift, you cannot be too sure. A lot of the times, government hardly even puts an excision on those properties. So at the end of the day, you have paid and then for 5-10 years, and then the entire thing is revoked. Your money goes down the drain. So be sure of what you are buying. Be sure that it's a proper documentation. Get someone who can help you go to you can even do a Lausa yourself. Go to the land registry, find out very well, be detailed about it, because it's your money at work here. Thank you.
I just want to ask 2 questions. The first. Okay. Good evening. Please, I want to ask 2 questions. Is it possible to have multiple administrators? Because I know I have one, IBTC. Sorry. I said, I want to ask, is it possible to have multiple administrators? Because I know I have one. Then the second one, I discovered that I opened an account for my 2 children. But I discovered that lately, they'll just be deducting unnecessary amounts. So, and today you are telling us about how to invest. So I don't know, how can I, because I'm thinking, as a last month, I was thinking of closing the account because the deduction is quite long, and I want to know how to go about it.
Okay, so to the first question, you really shouldn't have 2 retirement savings accounts. So what I will ask you to do is go back to Stanbic IBTC and try to get that account. I'm assuming it was when you were in employment, that was when it was opened. Yes? So even if you are no longer in employment, you can actually still continue putting money into that account, because now there's micro pensions and you can make your own direct contributions into your account. So really keep to that account, find it. I'm sure they'll find it with your name and continue with it. To the second point around charges being deducted from your children's accounts. The reason I put up that example and the difference between a savings and investment account, I was very deliberate about it. You cannot operate a savings account as an investment account because charges will still continue to hit it. Do you see? But an investment account, it is regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. No asset manager can deduct 1 naira from that account. Every naira that comes into the account, and I'm talking about mutual funds as an example, money market fund as an example, every naira that comes in is accounted for. In fact, if anything, every quarter you get a dividend paid in, or well, paid out to you if you prefer, or paid in to continue compounding on the account. Nothing can be deducted from it. So there's a difference between a savings account and an investment account. You don't have an investment account. You need to convert and you need to go open an investment account. Do you understand what I mean?
Thank you very much, ma. We really appreciate the divine empowerment of today. But I just want to focus on a section that is very crucial to me and that I've gotten a lot of practical experience of, and that has to do with insurance, ma. Insurance is a very good investment when the couples are equilibrium in love with each other. But when the couple are bearing the risk of the wife being desperate for money, it's a very big risk of entrepreneur, ma. Because the moment in South Africa, for instance, if you can agree with me, the rate of the death of husband was because of insurance. Because the moment they know their husband is under 20 million rand insurance level, they keep on encouraging the man very well to pay for a minimum of 6 months. And after 6 months, they took the man to military admission, attack occurrences, and the man got expired. And they immediately become a millionaire in a second. And this has been discouraging many in the present world. Mommy, what advice can you give to us? And what pan-beating word can we use to stand ourselves fit for such an insurance? Because if you are marrying a woman with too much of eye-opening and you get 20 million insurance, your death sentence is very, very close. That's exactly the area I'm talking about.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
I guess you can answer together. I want to appreciate you for the lecture. The Lord continue to bless you. I have 3 things I want to raise. You talked about the insurance. You know, I work with Lagos State government, and there's an insurance they do to all their directors, and it's about 5 million if the person dies in office. And I remembered when we were told, and they said, don't go and say it at home, so that they will not go and poison you. You know, that they will give the 5 million to the beneficiary. And they said, hey, you have more women directors, so let them also go and tell their husbands at home that there's a 5 million. I said, hey, 5 million, so that, you know. So that's why I said I have something close to what he said. And that's one. There's something that happened about legacy. There's a colleague of my husband actually who lost a wife recently. And the wife said something to us when we went to visit. She said, if I die, you should hold my husband responsible. That was quite weighty. Unfortunately, after some months, she passed on. And when the husband said, Mr. Kim, come. I went to process my wife's thing, and I found that she had removed me as her, beneficiary. I know there's a word we call it in the next of kin. Thank you. That she had removed me as from being the next of kin. And, you know, he said, I said, I got home and I was thinking, I said, something must have happened somewhere. And I remember the discussion I had with the woman when the daughter was getting. I said, my husband had not been faithful to me. I had invested my life in the relationship. And I just want my children not to be dropped. I don't want the things I've worked for to be shared with another person. So when you are talking, you said, legacy, do this, put this down, give yourself, pay yourself first, and you talked about 4 different types of accounts that you said you discouraged that don't buy Ashwebi, invest, and the woman said she regretted, because they actually have some landed properties but it's their name. Unfortunately, it was Mr. and Mrs. She was not wise, Anybody that I see doing Mr. and Mrs. is not wise. You should do Akin and Jumoke Akinwumi. That is your name. You are not Mr. and Mrs. It's Akin and Jumoke Akinwumi. So Mr. and Mrs. is not wise. You should have your first name and your hubby's first name or your spouse's first name. So they did that. And she regretted her life. That was towards her death, and said she had regret because the man, and I'm telling as I'm speaking to you, the man is actually thinking of bringing somebody home. And so everything they had ever worked for, she did not pay herself sincerely. She lived for legacy. She said, I just wanted to leave something behind. And at the end of the day, I just said, God, I will live long and I will leave legacy. But I just want us to be balanced about it. That we should also know that as we are talking about saving for the future, don't inconvenience yourself to the extent that you will even die before the money matures. So you also need to look at that. Then thirdly, we made an investment for our children when they were young, and of recent, my baby is 18. So they sent a note to us that we can no longer operate that. It's actually an account that we put money and all that, and anytime there is an emergency, we go there to take. And now wrote a letter to us that we can no longer operate those accounts. That the last child is 18, so we should hand over the account. I am afraid to hand over the account to, because it was actually like our own emergency fund. So I really don't know. I said we'll go to the bank and discuss. Maybe I should just withdraw a good percentage of it, and then I want to ask, is there an account that you can actually don't allow children to touch until they've graduated or something? I really want to know that, because I would have wanted, he has two accounts now that is in the university that he runs, but this one, he doesn't know how much is even there. So by the time the guy is giving that amount, I really don't know. So I want to ask that is there anything we can do?
Okay, I'll just try to be quick, and I know our time is spent. So speaking to life insurance versus the risk of premature death, we're in church, and we believe that the couples that we have in church are, even if they were not married, knowing Christ, they now know Christ. And so my understanding and the way I prefer to interpret it is, because we know what is right, we will do what we know is right. That somebody else has an ulterior motive or is going to do something that we honestly cannot even contain or we do not know for a fact, does not leave us, or does not mean that we should expose ourselves unduly and our families, and we should not do what is right. So I will say that in the case of life insurance, you may choose not to disclose what it is you have done, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what I will say is, have documentation ready. I know the case of a client, a gentleman who, and we actually have the video testimonial, but there's no time. We could have played it, where his wife was the one who kept insisting that they have life insurance. And when she insisted, her husband kept saying, no, he wasn't interested. But guess what? She actually she opened that account, started to pay her premiums on an annual basis. But because her husband had told her he wasn't interested, it was their first daughter, who was 12, that she gave the information to. So she had put documentation together and had shown her daughter where that documentation was. And maybe she knew, maybe she didn't know. A couple of years later, she passed on. And when she passed on, her daughter actually brought the documentation to her father. And the money that they got from that insurance was able to put children through school. So I'm saying we we need to be wise, but we should do what is right nonetheless. Okay? Now, to the question around leaving a legacy versus gratification. Remember up there I said I like enjoyment. So it's not that I'm advocating for all of us to live this long, boring life of slavery, dodgery, and there's nothing in it that is that we're enjoying, so to speak. You get what I mean? I like enjoyment. Trust me, I do. But I'm saying that we cannot enjoy with all of what we have. You can't eat the seed of a fruit and expect a tree tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. So I'm saying do what we know is right today because we know it needs time to mature. So it's a case for me of a legacy versus instant gratification. So for me, Ashwebi is my own thing that I won't put money in it. I would rather give that person a money market fund investment as a gift and say, as you get married, this is my own seed to your home as an investment for you in the future. Do you see? That's my own thing. Because I believe it's personally wasteful and we go overboard with it. That's me. But I like enjoyment. So don't mistake. I like it. But I'm just saying that we need to balance out properly and have the future in mind. To the last point around bank accounts for children, again, to the point that I said to the other lady, an investment account is different from a bank account. Don't mistake the two. The bank account is not an investment account because your ability to even access that account in and out already negates the purpose of that investment in the first place. The second thing I will say around transferring that account to your children is you need to be mindful about the amounts that you want to transfer to them because they're now 18 and above. But more importantly, you can put that money into a trust. And you put in the trust documentation when you want them to be able to access the money. You can even determine what they can use that money for. You can determine in that trust and say, I want them to only be able to use this money for masters or PhD or buy a house or whatever else. But you can do it in their name. There are different types of trusts, but irrespective, you can actually open a trust account and actually have that money moved in. And the trust is pretty much operated like an investment account because you can't touch the money. They invest the money on your behalf. Praise God.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Some of our problems are cultural, from what I see. I would have liked to ask so many other questions. How many women can really buy a house or build a house? If your husband, there's something cultural about your husband doing the house, building the house, buying the house. But when you're married and you wake up one day and say, I want to build my own house, how do we see it in African context? I would have liked you to talk about things like that, so that women are encouraged. There are so many things women can also do. But some other time, praise the Lord. We are going to Fabulous Julian immediately. She's here in the house with us. Let's put our hands together. She is a lifetime learner, student of China Europe International Business School. She has certification from the Enterprise Development Center at Pan Atlantic Lagos Business School, Diploma in Digital Media School of Media and Communications, HND in Graphic Designs, other certifications in Marketing and Communications. She's a recipient of the Goldman Sachs Investment Bank 10,000 Women Scholarship, a recipient of Meritorious Service Award from Enterprise Development Center, and she is a practical and hands-on blend of corporate 9-to-5 entrepreneurship marketing. Married to Mr. Bode Oludumila. Could you wave? Mr. Bode Oludumila, that's her husband. He's in the house. Praise the Lord. Let's welcome Fabulous Julian. She'll be teaching us how to increase sales on social media. Please come up. Thank you for coming. If you have a business or you are doing some side hustle, she's going to teach you how you can use the social media Instagram and all that to increase your sales. So please let's listen. Thank you very much.
Good evening, church. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you very much for being here. I know we are very, very eager to hear about social media, but we are going to start from the foundation, because social media rides on something, and social media actually rides on marketing, not the only thing that powers the whole world. I have opportunity of running a community of over 10,000 entrepreneurs. They always, thank you very much. They always believe that their biggest problem is social media. But that's not your problem. Okay, so we're going to start from the foundation. Even the Bible said that if your foundation is wrong, as a Christian, as a righteous person, you can't do anything. So we don't want to speak on a faulty foundation. Before we go into social media, we're going to look at what powers social media. So, next slide, please. You've seen the topic. Next slide. Okay, to create a product or a service that makes it, let's bring it down to Nigeria. To create a product or a service that makes it down here in Nigeria, you must follow the business principles. A lot of people just quit 9 to 5. They want to do their own thing. Side hustle is the latest thing in town. Everybody is an entrepreneur, but we don't follow principles. And it doesn't matter how young, it doesn't matter how old, it doesn't matter how long you've been in your business. If you don't follow the principles that guide businesses, you will run into murky waters. Next slide. So the first thing you need to do when God gives you your business idea, because the Bible said God is the one that gives us power to create wealth. And Pastor has been preaching to us that when you ask God to bless you, he blesses you with ideas. He doesn't throw money down from heaven. So he blesses you with idea. It could be a product, it could be a service. The first thing you need is to validate it. Test the market. Do people need this product or this service? And if they need it, do you have enough people that will be buying this product or this service from you? If yes, go ahead. If no, you need to find out why. You can't force people to buy what they don't need. But there are some products, because you know, like we've been told, there are some places you can buy a property and you know that people will definitely move into that environment. So if you know that there is something coming 10 years ahead, you know that you can put a product or a service together. Just be patient and keep working on what God has blessed you with. But if you've validated, you've done your market research, you find out that this thing you thought is a good idea in your head, the market doesn't need it, you can create another thing. Okay? So what you need to do to validate and research your market is, first, if it's a service, because I'm into services, I always like starting with services. You can run a test class. Now, almost everyone knows now that you can run classes on WhatsApp. You can test that product. You can test that service before you launch. So it's not just look before you leap. You also need to test before you launch as a business owner. You can use market research tools. You could do survey. You can carry out phone interviews, or you can even do focus groups. We will not go into all that details, but it's good you know that this is the first thing to do when you have a business idea. Next slide, please. Okay, there is something called a business model. God has given you this idea. How are you going to make money from this idea? I know we hear a lot. When you hear business model, you think it's something very huge. Business model is just, I'm asking you, how are you going to make money? Are you going to sell directly to me? Are you going to say, I subscribe on a monthly basis? Are you going to turn it into a multi-level marketing? We see it as, because some people have been burnt, we see multi-level marketing somehow as something bad. It's a very good thing if you understand how it works. Okay, you can add it, you can use it as a model for your product or your service. It could be brick and mortar. Most of us know Mr. Biggs. It was a franchise. So that was their model for making money. So what is your own business model? Next slide, you will see I put an example of what it actually looks like. So on each of these buckets, you need to fill it out. And if you can fill it very, very well, all you need to do is look at each bucket and know who to work with. It's as simple as that. The business model canvas will help you plot your business on paper, and you can go anywhere to run. Next slide, please. So as a business, you must have a goal. When you don't have a goal, you don't know when you score, and you can't measure. You also need to have a strategy for your business. This goal you have set, how do you want to achieve it? What are the steps you need to take? And you need tactics. Your strategy can be long-term, but your tactics are the things you do every day. And this is where social media come in. Social media is tactical. You post 3 times on Instagram, post 2 times on Facebook, on Twitter you post 5 times, but that you are not running a business yet. Tactical things will just sustain you for a while. But the beauty about tactical things is, immediately you do it, you see results, and you think that's all. But without strategy, you can't do tactics. So it's like if you base your whole life on social media, you are putting the cart before the horse. So the horse will break its leg and you can't move. And that's why we have a lot of businesses, when they say in 5 years, 90% of the businesses that people start will shut down. Why will you be part of that statistics? You need to do things right. Follow the steps. Follow the principle that guides business. You need to have a goal. Put your strategy together, then you can do tactical things. Next slide, please. Okay, so this brings us to marketing. Marketing is the life of your business. Like we breathe in air, marketing is what your business breathes in. Without marketing, you can't make sales. People are making 6-figure, 7-figure. Fine, people are making, but where are your own people from your own research? If you don't have a concrete evidence that shows you where your people are, you will waste your time. So don't feel frustrated when you are not sure or when you don't know. You put out posts, nothing is happening, because you are one of the major causes of your own problem because you did not do the first thing you're supposed to do. Next slide, please. So there are some few things I want us to note. We will do social media, don't worry, but I hope your phones are charged. I hope you have data, because we are going to look at a little bit of Instagram especially. Or how many of us are on Instagram? How many of us are on Facebook? So we have more people on Instagram, but we'll look at both of them because they are the major social media platforms that Nigerians use. So marketing is everything you do to attract people. So I'm going to use this event as our example. Everything the women department did to bring us here is marketing. So they sent out flyers, they did WhatsApp messages, everything they did, thinking of the speakers, setting up the chair, getting people to park your car, everything. So let's bring it to your business. I've seen your post on Instagram. Maybe I decided I don't want to buy online, I want to visit your shop. And I get to your shop, your receptionist is turning your front office to her makeup studio. I just sat there, waited for her. She took her time before she responded. All that is marketing. I'm making mental notes. I'm documenting everything I'm experiencing. Marketing is a total game from start to almost 90%. When you make sales is when I give you money and you give me the product or the service. So marketing is everything you do to attract prospects. If I've not bought from you, I'm not your customer. I'm still a prospect. Some people call them strangers. Okay? So from prospects till I begin to know what you do, like you, trust you, and want to commit by giving you money so you give me the product. All that is marketing. So you can imagine all what it takes you. Let's say you make soups in bowls. So you go to K2 market, you buy the ingredients, tomatoes, everything. All that is marketing. The selection, you don't buy the ones that are rotten. You want to buy the one they call Derica tomatoes and all that. It's part of marketing. Because you are preparing, you are developing, you are creating till you sell it. That is when the sales happen. So you actually use social media as part of amplifying all the work you have done. Okay? Sales is everything you do to convert me when I've made up my mind. You know, sometimes you can say, okay, I can come and say, how much is this? You tell me, but I've not bought. What do you do at that point? That's when sales kick in. And there are a set of skills that you need to also acquire. When people reject you or they tell you not now, there are some things you are supposed to do. Unfortunately, social media will not teach you all that. But there are coaches that is their core competence. All right? Marketing is the life of your business. I mentioned that already. Next slide, please. We need to get into the social media thing. Okay. So to make marketing work both online and offline, you need to have your market research data. Remember, I said you need to validate and also do your market research. It's with your data that you can start planning other things. One key thing around your data, let me use the church, this event as example. The church needed to know how many women we have in different outreaches, right? And know how many, let's say they wanted to send out invites, hard copy. You need to know how many women we have in praise outreach to know how many cards you need to send. If you need to hire a bus, you need to know how many women are coming, so you know the size of bus that you're sending. Which means if you don't know your data, you will send a coaster bus to a church of 3 women. Waste of money, time, everything you can ever think of. And God doesn't bless wasters. So the little money you have, you are wasting it when you don't have market research data. Some of us, our businesses, we think or we assume that our direct customers are women. Unfortunately, it might be men. But without data, you will never know. You might think it's women, but your customers are actually the kids, but it's their mother that make the decision. Praise God. So your market research is very, very important. I will not lie to you. It's not an easy thing to do. And if you think you can do it alone, I guarantee you, you will struggle with it. It's not your core competence. Your core competence is your product or your service, how you create it, and how you push it out. But when it comes to your market research, you need a hand to hold you to help you sort that out. So from your market research data, you can come up with a goal. Because there are some questions you need to ask during your market research. So let's say it comes up from your market research that you have 90% of your customers in Abuja, and you used to think they are in Lagos. Part of your goal might be this 2019, let's say you organize workshops. I will have to visit Abuja because 80% of my customers or my clients are in Abuja. So your market research helps you with your goal. And once you set that goal that you are going to Abuja, what's your strategy to go to Abuja? Are you going to have a collaboration with some other coaches existing in Abuja? Or you want to do partly a virtual class, then you show up in Abuja face to face? Without data, you might not be able to make business decisions that will help you. Okay? So you must have your data, you must have your goals for the year. And let me give examples of marketing goals. You could decide that this year you want to increase sales. I know every business wants to increase sales. What about expansion? What if you decide that this year you want to create a new product or you want to convert a product to a service? Those are some of the goals you can set. And please note, whatever I'm saying here, you can Google. You will find answers. What is your marketing goal? How many of us have marketing goal for the year 2019? As a business. Your business goal is different from your marketing goal. You have your marketing goal. Bless you. When you have your marketing goal, you now set strategies that will help you achieve that goal. Your goal, you have long-term and you have short-term. Then you need marketing tactics, things you will be doing every day that will support your marketing goal. Okay? This is where social media come in. So you could say because your goal this year is to go virtual, you will be posting 3 times on Instagram. That is, if your market research shows you that your customers are on Instagram. Some of us are on Instagram. We don't even know why we are there. We are not sure whether our customers are there. But you need something to show you. When I started my business in 2016, my second business in 2016, the first one, I will not say it failed, but when I discovered market research, I just changed gear. I did the first one for 7 years without any of these things that I'm teaching you, and I struggled. I was making good money. Even the church was part of my ideal clients. But it was more of a struggle because I didn't know how to consistently create demand. I was assuming I'm their member now. They'll be using me. Anytime they need brochure, anytime they need anything, they will call me. But what if it's not my church and they make up their mind to say, oh, we want to start using our own members. And this lady, she's 7-day. We don't want to do business with her anymore. That's the end of my business there. So people are making decisions based on what they need and what they want. What if it affects your business? You need marketing plan to now plan all the things you have acquired from your market research, the goals you've set. You need a plan to put them together. You must run marketing as a system. I know we have more of women here. You know this hair they call pick and drop. You know the pick and drop hairstyle. In business, you don't do pick and drop. You do everything. So you don't leave market research, pick strategy, do your marketing plan, and you think you can run. It won't work that way. You will have challenges, and it will bring you back to square one. So why not do it at once so that whatever you're building on the foundation can stay? Next slide, please. I mentioned it earlier, there are over 100 types of marketing, okay? This is event marketing. What we are doing right now, we are teaching you, it could be event marketing. Remember when the first speaker finished, he said you can meet her people at their stand. It's event marketing. You can do things like seminar marketing. You can do virtual marketing. Social media marketing is one of them, so it's not everything. There is course marketing. Let's say because I want to use an example. I'm so sorry, but I want to use something that is very, very close. If you have an auntie that suffered maybe ulcer and eventually she passed, you might decide that you are going to you set up a foundation or support foundations that have been set up to run programs that will help people that are dealing with ulcer, crisis, or whatever. As a business owner, you can decide that one way to make your business known is to support that foundation anytime they have programs. So let's assume you produce water. So anytime they are saying they are going to work for ulcer, you know how we have work for cancer, work for this, and you see people support them. A lot of people do course marketing. They are supporting that course. Okay, so what course is your business supporting? What other marketing types are you using apart from social media? We can make this interactive, and I don't want to call names. What other types of marketing do you know? Out of these 100, don't say social media marketing. Okay, we don't know, but I believe we will know. But this is not a purely marketing class, but we'll find a way around so we can learn more about these 100+ type. Actually, I read an article, we have 159 types of marketing. You don't need to sit on okay, thank God we're all sitting on chairs. If this chair that is supposed to have 4 legs suddenly is just 1 leg, definitely you will fall. Because that's not how it's been built. Marketing has been structured in such a way that you can't survive with only one type. So you need different types of marketing to support your business. And that's why I added offline to the online. Because before online marketing came, our parents were doing business. And they survived. They sent us to school from those businesses. So how come social media now is everything? We need to start asking ourselves questions. So we could not mention some of these things. Now, as a business owner, you are a leader. They say leaders are readers. If you are not reading, you can't lead your own organization. And if you can't lead your own organization, somebody is coming to buy you very soon. And it might be your competition. So you come to church, you even put them in your prayer point. They are doing things you're not doing. That's why they are overtaking you. I like speaking in churches because I like to connect us to divine power that has given us this idea. God expects you to do so well. He has blessed us with everything. We have smartphones. We are not the ones that even created it. But your smartphone is not for only Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook. Google is your best friend. But you are not using those things. I'm saying this from experience. People ask me questions that they should not be asking. And some of them are not babies in business. So please type in your smartphone different types of marketing and see what will come up. I beg of you. You have data. Don't use it for only WhatsApp. Use your phone. I want someone to read. I'm coming down. Types of marketing. It's like when we are speaking from up here. I'm not coming to Pastor Debola. Types of marketing. I have a sister here. Since I've been talking. Sister. Types of marketing. Type it in your phone. I know some of us don't have social media accounts. Okay? We will create, but not today. We will have to learn how to use these things. Types of marketing. I don't want to go to, sir. No, sir. Types of marketing. A man wants to take over. No. You have it. Should I stay with you? Okay, so go up. I want you to mention some that you found. It's listed alphabetically. Don't worry.
Okay, so above the line marketing, account-based marketing.
Are you listening?
Affiliate marketing, affinity marketing, agile marketing, alliance marketing, ambush marketing.
So you see, there are different types. And based on your kind of business, you need to understand the kind of marketing that will work for you. There are some types of marketing that will work for me as a service-based business that will not work for you as a product-based business. But if you don't know, you don't know. So she still saw the same article that I talked about, and it was written by Splash, 159 types of marketing, with examples. And it's straightforward. That's why I love Google, and I will always say, God bless them. When you read those, you can see immediately what you can apply to your business. So I encourage you that found it, please read it to the end, okay? And try and pick one or two that you can apply in the next 30 days. Praise the Lord. Next slide, please. Do I need to go back here? Or I should stay with you? Okay, so we have real work in our hands as business owners. It's no joke. You know, the Bible said you have set your hand on the plow. You can't look back. So it's either you want to do business or you want to dust your CV and do 9 to 5. But unfortunately, a lot of us have said, I'll quit 9 to 5, I will do my own thing. You can't blend again in 9 to 5. So you are stuck with this, and you must make it work. Your business must work, and the reason is because it's a channel through which God touches and changes our world. So you need to start seeing your business as a ministry. It's God's tool. You are just the errand girl or errand boy. So it's ministry, and you must do it well. You are a good steward, and I know that. So the struggles you face today in business is purely marketing. If you have sorted your market research, your strategy and all that, then you now know that your people are on social media, they're on Facebook and Instagram. Then the next thing you need to do is to come up with a Facebook or Instagram goal. Why are you going on Instagram? What do you want to go and do there? You can't just say, I want to go to Ibadan without having what you're going there to do. So I want to go on Facebook. I want to be on Instagram. Why? Your why will become the driving force. If you don't know your why, you just get there, because this thing is very, very addictive. You wake up, if you remember to pray, let's not lie. You stretch your hand, your phone, you start scrolling. You can scroll 45 minutes, 1 hour, you are still there. Inspiration is there. Everything, the things that will make you laugh, the ones that will make you cry, you just continue. So if you don't know your why, I'm not saying it because I just want to say it. I have to pinch myself sometimes and say, Julian, this is not where you are going. To bring myself back. Okay? But it's not a bad thing to be on social media. Next slide, please. So, here we come. We have agreed that the challenge is rooted in marketing, not social media. Because it's what you have sorted in marketing that you use on social media. Social media is just an amplifier. So remember, can you hear my voice? Can you hear me? Not clearly. But can you hear me? This is what social media does. It takes you, it blows you up. So if you've not sorted your foundation, if you don't know your goal, you don't even know who your product is for, you go to social media, it takes you from Lekki, you are now in Zimbabwe, people are seeing you in Sudan, they are seeing you in different places. You are amplifying nonsense. I'm so sorry. If you don't get it right, you amplify that thing that is also not right. Social media is not going to fix anything for you. It's a tool, just like hammer, just like chisel, just like saw. If you don't know how to use it, you will hurt yourself. Or you even hurt other people. So you must learn how to use social media effectively so that you can use it to produce results. We've learned that we need to have different forms of investment. If we don't do social media well, if we don't lay our business foundation properly, we will not be able to do what she has just told us. So I have this class that I teach, and I call it, Who is Killing Your Business? Nobody is killing your business. It's the thing you refuse to do that is holding your business down. So let's go to the next slide. Now we are going into social media properly. So it's a place to build relationships, not a place to sell. And a lot of people still argue about this. Social media has a rule that guides it. It's a principle. They call it the social media 80-20 rule. 80% of your time on social media, you are supposed to engage, entertain, motivate, inspire. Then 20% of your time, you tell people about your product or your services. Unfortunately, 110% we want to sell. So that is not why people come on social media. They come to be entertained. So there is something social media calls native content. If you can slide what you do into an entertainment form, motivational form, you will get traction. You must learn how these things work. The Bible said when you get to a country, you behave like them. Give to Caesar what belongs to him. You need to give to social media what belongs to social media. You can't come to social media and treat social media like you are placing advert in a magazine. So the second principle, apart from the 80-20 rule, is that you need to learn to serve before you sell. So things like quotes, inspirational words. I'm not saying prayer. We get that every first week or even first day of the month. God bless you. Pray, 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 pray. When you're done with the prayer, you don't have strategy, you don't have plans, you don't have anything. End of the month, you still find out that you've not done anything. It's good to pray, but you must add action and principles that back running a business. You don't use prayer to cajole people to buy from you. Praise the Lord. So please learn to serve. What do you serve? Tips around your business, advice, 3 ways to do. Please, whose business can we use? Sodada. Cakes. Okay. I like that. In fact, you've looked for my trouble today. A lot of cakes are baked with brandy, right? Why? I don't know. Preservative. It's not everyone that likes that brandy. So you need to educate us enough to appreciate that thing. But I've not found anyone. So every time I teach, I like using this brandy issue as an example because Christmas 2 years ago, the cake they gave us at work, I was practically drunk. I can't say I don't drink because that day I was drunk. It was from the nylon, you could perceive it. Then beyond that, you know you bake wedding cakes. And some people don't want to just finish everything. How do I preserve my cake? How do I store it in the fridge? How long can a cake? You need to educate us. Not every time you are baking, mixing now, shipping very soon, you put it on Instagram. It's not everything that should be there. Tomorrow you start complaining that people have stolen your pictures. There is a way that this thing works. Okay, so you need to share lots of tips, helpful advice, ask people questions that will bring them to you. You need to find ways to engage. 2 days ago, I ran a free tutorial on what to post because that's the biggest question people ask me around social media. Julian, I don't know what to post. And so far, there is a group that I will teach tonight, 2 groups that I will teach tonight. I have close to 500 people already. You know, WhatsApp has 256. We already have like 200, and there's another group that I've not told them that their class is happening tonight. It's the same issue. So 500 people, it gives you an idea of what people are dealing with. You can use that to create content. Well, we can't go into all that today. Next slide, please. But please learn to serve people before you sell. So you can imagine if you've been sharing and telling me why you use brandy. Because you've taught me, when I want to buy cake, I'll call you. Because I know that because of my complaint, and I can tell you, maybe I don't like it that much, maybe you want to reduce the quantity, you will listen to me. Unlike someone that has not told me, and I don't want to buy brandy all in the name of cake. Okay. Just like a car, I mentioned it, social media takes you from Lekki to anywhere you want to go in the world. You can't tell people where to watch you from, where to see your posts from. You can't regulate that. Okay? But if you want to learn how to drive, you need to learn it well so that you don't hurt other people. Next slide. So to drive on social media, to drive on Facebook and Instagram, you need to actually go to a driving school. And I think we have started maybe test 1 from here. There is so much hype around, please, next slide. There is so much hype around social media, go online, people are making money, but there is a way that they make money on social media. And because you've not seen this money on social media, you begin to doubt your own capabilities. You begin to ask yourself, maybe I think I'm in the wrong business. You are not in the wrong business. You are in the right business. It's just that you don't know how to use the tools that will help you push your business. Okay, you need to stop losing sleep and learn. Next slide, please. So I would like us to respond to some of these things because there are things that you need to sort out before you start posting on social media. Who is your ideal customer? Can you describe and define who you serve? Even Christ said that he knows those that he came for. So who are those that you are supposed to be serving? How many of us know that everyone is not our customer? Because if everybody is your customer, you'll be a billionaire. We have over 140 million Nigerians. They all cannot buy from you. So everyone is not your customer. You have those that God has divinely ordered that you will serve. It's your duty to look for them. Business is a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual exercise. Okay? These your ideal customers. Let's say they are online. Where do they hang out? Remember, we have Snapchat, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. Oh, yeah, now. WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a mobile app. It's not social media. Okay? Instagram and other ones that we don't use here in Nigeria. There are lots of them. But where these your ideal customers, okay? They might be people that live in Banana Island. I'm just using this as example. They live in Banana Island and upwards. A lot of Nigerians like using that word, upwardly mobile, 38 and above. Fine. But where do they hang out? Because I don't want to believe when I didn't even know, I just searched Dangote on Instagram, just one post. And he has over 10,000 followers. Now, social media is a place to build relationship. It's a place to motivate and all that. Just one post and he didn't say anything. So who are you chatting with? Nobody. It could be his PA that did it. But Nigerians like following names. Over 10,000 followers already. But he's not posting anything, just his picture, one. Why are you there? What can you get from that account? Do you think he's giving out money there? So, your ideal customers have where they hang out. And I like using Dangote or Tedola as an example when I'm saying this. If he has only one post, that means he's not on Instagram. It might be his PA, or there's a social media manager. Is that who you want to talk to? It's not Dangote now. So they have a place where they hang out. And if it's offline, where offline? Will you find Dangote in Ajegule? He has a place where he hangs out. So you must align yourself. You must position yourself where you will be found. You don't take yourself to the wrong places and you are praying and asking God what's happening to you. The same thing in business. You must be where you will be found. You must be found because you carry something that they need. Praise God. What challenges do they face? That's why I said we have work. If you don't know what I'm struggling with, you can't sell me anything. You don't know if it's headache or it's malaria. So I can't come to your shop, let's say you own a chemist, and you want to give me medication for what I'm not struggling with. So what are your customers struggling with? What is that thing that keeps them awake at night? While you are sleeping, there is something that they can't sleep. It could be they can't pay their kids' fees. And maybe you run a business that loan money to those kind of people. Okay? It could be that they've been trying to write WAEC and they don't pass. And you are a maths teacher. You do home services for students that can't pass. Something is wrong with your customer somewhere. That is why you are a solution provider. I asked someone, what's your ideal customer's biggest challenge? He said, my customers don't have challenge. You know, we know how to say, God forbid, no, it can't happen. But not if there are no pains, there are no gains. You make money from erasing pain. So if you keep denying the fact that your ideal customers don't have problems, you will not make money. They have problems, and you need to position yourself as the solution, the only solution. That's why they will come to you. But before you take that bold step to say you are the only solution, you must know and do your work well. Okay? So how do you solve this problem? A lot of businesses know what they can do, but they can't communicate it. How well? So your competition that is not even doing close to what you're doing, not even 10% of what you're doing, go and see how they are bragging on social media, overtaking you. And you are saying they've gone to see one babalawo. It's a lie. They just know how to use their mouth. You use your own. Craft it. There is something called unique selling point. where you sit down and craft how you present yourself based on these questions that I'm asking you. Don't go around the circles trying to introduce yourself and running around circles, okay? Where do your customers come from? I asked this question, and a lot of people thought their customers come from social media. A lot of them discovered that they are offline. So anything that is currently working for your business, you need to amplify it. So if 80% of your customers are coming from maybe church, your neighborhood, come on, you need to sit down and put a strategy around that. Instead of leaving them and you are jumping off online, you want to sell to someone in Makurdi, your people on your street don't know you bake bread. Or you want to send bread, when will he get there? Praise God. Let me not go through this again. But what data pointed you that you should go to Instagram or Facebook? Unfortunately, a lot of us got there because we just jumped. Like my first Facebook account, I had over 1,000 fans. These fans, mixed multitude, even secondary school people are there. They can't buy they are not buying what but because I jumped when Facebook just created pages, I created my own page, and every weekend I say, show me some love, like my account, and everybody just, but I could not convert the people there to productive sales. Nothing. So I left the account. I use it as an example. Okay, so how many of these questions were we able to answer clearly? All of them. You are sure? We are in God's house. So these things can take 1 year to answer. Next slide, please. Okay, so Instagram. I want to see your hands again. So turn on your data. I'm coming down now. The anatomy of an optimized Instagram account. Please look up Grow Your Biz NG. Okay? Look at the bottom of the picture. You have business marketing coach. Can someone tell me what is on the top and the bottom of his or her account? Even if you're an individual, your account is personal. There is something called personal brand. So your personal account is your personal brand. You can sell experience. You can sell your expertise. You can sell anything. You can sell you. I have an hashtag I call monetize you. Okay? I studied fine arts. And I've worked as a graphic artist for 19 years. I'm selling me. I teach people how to design. So you have experience. You're sitting on it. It's not your main hustle. So you have side hustle inside hustle. Personal branding is not telling you how to put pocket square, fold your hands and take picture. No. You have something you carry. Your friends are telling you can turn it into a business. Convert that thing to money. God cannot give you all those things. I'm waiting. Who has seen her own? I want to know what is on your account. Do you see? Sister Debola? Okay. So the first one is your username. Okay? That is the name of your business. But unfortunately, I see some funny names that people cannot even pronounce. It has nothing to do with your business. It's not even related to what you do. Social media is not a place to do guy. You are a business owner. You are in it to do it well. So some of us will need to change our username based on the business you do. Because when people want to search for me, there are some people you've never met me before. If you want to look for me, what will you type? That is the thinking. What will they search? Perhaps they know the name of your business, A&O Limited. That is what they are going online to search. So don't just chop guy name and you leave it up there. We don't know you as that. Then the one below where you have the business marketing coach is the name session. Please note that is called the name session does not mean you will put your personal name there, the name your parents gave you. No. Now this name, you need to put words that describe what you do. So, I'm a business marketing coach. That is what is there. I share marketing tips. I can decide to bring marketing tips here. What happens is only 2 things are searchable on Instagram. Your username and this name section here. So if it's your first name and surname that is there, that is not what people are searching. When people come on social media, remember when I said we should search for types of marketing? That is how people search, based on their need, not your name. So how that happens, I don't have that screen. People go to explore page and they search for their pain points. I'm looking for a marketing coach. That is what I will type on that explore page. If you are looking for a health and wellness or a fitness coach, that is what you will type. So people that have used fitness coach, health and wellness on this place will pop up. Then if you even help yourself one step further and you add Nigeria or Lagos, you will easily pop up, because I can't be looking for health and wellness coach that is in Kaduna when I'm in Lagos. So you help people search better when you optimize your account. Next slide, please. Did we get this part? Have you updated yours? Use what you do. Keywords. But please remember, that line, that last line, the name section can only take 30 characters. So you must wear your thinking cap and be creative. Okay? So the next thing is your bio. How many of us know about bio? Okay. Your bio is where you tell people who you are, what you do, and what they can get. Simple. I know some of us, we love the Lord, Jesus baby. You are a business. It's your business account. You can use your personal account to do anything. But on business account, Jesus lover, mother of 3, we know. But this is business. You are not selling your kids, and you are not using that page for evangelism. Because when I look at all your posts, you are posting cake, but you, on your bio, you confuse me. I don't know if it's a church or it's a business that belongs to an individual. So you use your bio to mention the things you do. So if you are a fashion designer, are you a ready-to-wear? Do you sell fabrics? You list those things there, because when I see those things, I will know whether I will continue or even want to follow you. So what you do, who you are, who you do it for, maybe your location, then you move on to the next slide. Sorry, don't go to the next slide. There is a link there. For Instagram, you have only one link. Okay? When you look at it, it says URL or website. For if you don't have a website, you don't need to just put website there. Okay. Thank you. If you don't have a website, you don't need to just put only website there. Some people use their WhatsApp number. Okay? But you must tell me what I will get. Is it that I should call you, or I'm going to get a free chat session? That they call it call to action. What do you want me to do with what you've put in that link? Now, somebody have seen that there is need to add more links, because let's say you have 2 products. You post something and you say, click on the link in my bio, maybe to join the WhatsApp group. And another post, you have, click on the link in my bio to follow me on my other Instagram account. If I click on the second one, I will still see the former link. But somebody has created something that helps you add more links. And there are many, but I've used Linktree and I've used link in bio, lnk.bio. So next slide, please. Next slide. Go to the next slide. We'll come back to this if we still have the time. So this is what link in bio does for you, or the link tree. You can add more links. So when you click on that former link, it opens something like this. And you can click on whichever button that relates to what you're looking for. And that is a service someone is offering to Instagram users. It's free. So if you have multiple things you are pushing at the same time, you want people to visit your website, you want them to like your Facebook page, you want them to join your WhatsApp group, you want them to join your Facebook group, there is no need to start changing the former link. You just need to sign up with Linktree or link in bio. So let's go back to the former link, to the former page. People always ask me how they can turn likes, because you have a lot of likes, but no comments, no sales, nothing. So I always get this question. What you do with your Linktree or link in bio is based on your business. You have your marketing goal, you have your social media goal. So if your marketing goal is to increase sales, your link in bio, you need to put the things that you sell. Do you want, let's say, let me use myself as example. As a coach, I run 20 minutes free session, so I even understand you and know what your needs are. So I have, click on the link, the first button says, quick chat with Fabulous Julian. So we have that quick chat. I want to make sales, but I'm not selling directly on my posts. Okay? Another thing, I have some things you can download. But inside those things you can download, I'm still upselling the classes that I run. So when you hear that people make money on social media, especially Instagram, it's in that link that they put all the things they sell. But their posts will be so engaging, and they will say, click here, click on the link in bio to access my free class. You'll find yourself clicking. But do you have that on your own account? Have you brought out your products or services and linked them so that people will always make requests? Next slide. Next slide, please. Okay. No, please go back. Yeah. So there are things you call lead magnets. Okay? Lead magnets, just like the name, lead or prospect. You don't know me, you've not bought from me before, you are still a prospect, you are still a lead. I need to magnet you. So that's why you find free tutorials, webinars, free 20-minute session, is to pull you in. Then when we're done, because you've experienced me, you have taken value from me, you will want more. And that is where sales happen. So when we say sales don't happen on social media, it is true. You move people out of social media because, especially on Instagram, you don't own anybody. If I'm on live video now, some of you will watch. The next 20 minutes, you move to go and watch another live video session. Praise God. Next slide. So as a business owner, you must, at the marketing end, you must create your lead magnets. You must have your products, the low-hanging fruit ones. Things like $10 class or maybe 2,000 naira class. And you have the other ones that the prices are higher. But you need to graduate people so they start buying from you. Then we have these highlights. How many of us have seen highlights? On people's Instagram accounts, you see things like this. They are called highlights. How many of us have seen highlights? Okay. You use your highlights. In fact, Instagram is mimicking websites. So you use your highlights because they've discovered that people don't even want to leave Instagram to go anywhere. So they are picking features from other platforms. So you use your highlights, you introduce yourself there, you even welcome them, you put some resources you have, you put your classes, testimonials. So it depends on what you want to use your highlights for. As a business owner, you know the things you want. You need to create highlights. Highlights are created from Instagram stories. Your story stays for only 24 hours. After 24 hours, it's gone. But what you could do is, once you post your story, you convert it to highlight. It can stay here forever. except you delete it. It's a system, but it's not difficult. It can be learned, okay? Next slide, please. So this is the first post. First 9 posts. If you open your Instagram account now, you'll see the first thing you see, there are 9, apart from your bio and your picture. You see these first 9, some people don't need to scroll beyond here. Remember, we always hear attention span is low. So some people, the only thing they want to see is what is happening here. The beauty can make someone follow you. Then the kind of post you put out. So it's advisable to have, 1, introduce what you do, who you are, who you serve, where you are based. Out of these 9, you must use it to introduce yourself. You must talk about your product or your service. You must have at least a testimonial from people you've served before. Testimonials are good. It helps people believe you. And not just testimonials that maybe you have the person's name or even phone number for believability. So a lot of us do business, but we don't ask people to say things they've experienced from us. People, this bandwagon effect works a lot when you share testimonials. If I've had a good experience with your product or service and I've shared it, someone else wants to jump in. So don't forget to share testimonials. Yes, you are not selling, but you are engaging. And I want to go to the last part. Next slide, please, where we talk about caption. So these are other accounts, the first 9 posts. I'm sure you like what you see. But is your own account as beautiful as this? It has nothing to do with being a graphic artist. Canva is there for you to create your designs using your business brand colors. You are a business. Treat yourself like Coca-Cola from when you are small. Because they started small as well. So don't limit yourself, oh, I don't need a logo now. When will you need it, if not now? Okay, the next slide, we are going to see caption. Okay. Even when you now post, some people don't have anything as caption. You just put out a post. You didn't say anything. What do you want people to do? So for every post you put out, please make sure you add caption. And at the end of the caption, you have call to action. This works for both Facebook and Instagram because it's content. Now I have make that move. Take quantum leap, stretch. Move, leap, stretch. You can move, you can leap, blah, 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 blah. And I said, comment with a pledge below. Say after me, blah, blah, blah. That is what I want them to say. This helps you create engagement. People say they put out posts and no comment. If you want people to make comments, tell them what to do. That is what call to action is. Call them to action. Okay? But it has to align with your goal. So let's say I want to sell a class. I will say click on the link in my bio to join the pre-chat group. I always set up pre-chat groups so that I know who is coming in, and when they join the group, if they don't sign up, I will keep educating, entertaining, nurturing them till they buy. I have groups that have been there existing for more than 1 year, and people are still joining. When people pay to join the class, I remove them from that group and add them to another group. So it's a systematic way. It doesn't just happen. Sales don't happen by chance. You create a system. This is not a marketing class. I would have walked us through some things. And marketing is not microwave. You learn different things. And if you don't know these things, there's nothing you can tell your staff to do. Please, for those that have staff, stop punishing them for the work you did not do. You did not lay the foundation. You are the business owner. You're supposed to have structured things. Remember when God made Adam, everything was ready. So get your house in order before you hire people. People's children, you bring them to work to do what you cannot do or what you have not done. Praise God. Next slide. Sorry, let's go back to this. There are hashtags there. Hashtags are ways that people can find you. They can also discover you. So if you are using business in Lagos or cake maker in Lagos, if someone clicks on that hashtag, all the people that have used cake maker, hashtag cake maker in Lagos, all their posts will pop up. But unfortunately, it's like I'm saying unfortunately a lot, but it's from experience. A lot of people use wrong hashtags. Hashtag Hustler Square. There's nothing wrong. It's her own hashtag, not your own. They promise you that when you use that hashtag, people will see you. Go and check how many people have used that hashtag. You will even, like this morning I checked a very known brand, Niger brand chick. There were over 32,000 times that people have used it. You will be lost. You need hashtags that people can find. There is a system to hashtags too. So you need a few that are over like 32,000, like that digit. Then you need the ones that are in the range of 6,000. You need the ones that are in the range of 1,000 so that people can find you. And you also need to have your own custom hashtag. That Hustler Square is her own custom hashtags. BB Niger is their own. It's not yours. Create yours. And use hashtags that relate to what you do, not what other people are doing. Praise the Lord. So Facebook is straightforward. I think Instagram is more complicated than Facebook. So Facebook is straightforward. You also need to optimize your account. Because I have a Facebook group, when I'm adding people that request to join the group, I see a lot of people, they don't even have their profile picture. I'm not dealing with ghosts, so I can't add you to my group. So if you are one of those people that don't have your picture, or you even have his family album, I'm dealing with an individual. If you are Temitope, let it be your own picture. I don't need your whole family. It's your profile picture. They didn't say family album. So please check your account. If it's a group, your church members that you use, selfie, everybody on the background, no. Please use you. You are the business owner. Okay? Then I see some people, they've left a place of work since 2015. It's still not updated. Please update your records, because if you are now telling me you're a business owner, you want to collaborate with me, and let's say it was on Facebook that you connected, I'm going to check you out. And I get there, I'm seeing that you are still working in that place, 2015, and I know you have left. Those things, people judge you by them. Now, on Facebook, you have two. As a business, you need to create a business account. That's a Facebook page. Okay? Apart from your profile. Your profile is where you play. You can tell us what you ate, show us your pet, and everything. But your business page is your business page. Treat it like a business page. Move some of the things we've talked about apart from the hashtag. Because Facebook is not a place where you use lots of hashtags. Okay? So you need to have a cover page. Like what you see here, the orange part, I mentioned what you will get if you become a fan. This is where I share marketing, branding, design, social media, help, tips, and all that. You need to brand your own cover. So immediately we know whether we want to follow or not. Okay? Then there are other things on the side. Facebook treats the page like a website. So you have about us. You have your mission. You have your vision. If you've won an award, put it there. Product, service, everything. So for those that don't have website, you can actually start from here. Every post can be treated like a blog. Because even on Instagram, Twitter, we are all microblogging. Talking about legacy, whatever you put up on social media, you can hardly pull down. So the law of, what was that thing? What goes up must come down. It doesn't work on social media. So please, if you are one of those people that go on social media to complain about the president, it's not your business to go and say it on social media. Because anything you put out there, you are projecting to the world. You can have your community where you talk about it and do something about it. Don't just talk and not even do anything. Your social media account is a place where you elevate, you motivate people. not to bring down the country. What are you telling people that are seeing your post from outside the world? And what action do you want them to take? It's part of legacy. In 3 years' time, 10 years down the line, will your children see what you posted and say, well done, mommy? Okay, so that is it for Facebook. Like I said, it's straightforward. Content is content. But please, there is this thing we think we could quickly do, post something on Instagram and push it to Facebook. It's good to automate. But please, different platforms don't speak the same language. So where you are having 30 hashtags on Facebook, because you pushed it from Instagram, is very, very wrong. You can push, but come to Facebook and edit, remove all the hashtags. Where you know, Facebook, on Instagram, you have swipe left. Then you see people push it to Facebook. You don't swipe on Facebook. And it's still showing swipe. So all people pick these things. You are a professional and do things right. Praise God. So quickly, let's look at the other pages. Like I mentioned, Facebook is straightforward. So you even have a place to share your story, your business story, from how you started and all that. And people will always see them. Your business details. Please, if you are not comfortable leaving your phone number, maybe you could leave your email. Or you have a phone line dedicated to business. But in this age and time, people are faster to use their phones than doing emails. Some of us, the last time we checked our emails was when we created our Instagram account. So they send you emails, it's just sitting there. I have over 1,000 mails I've not read. So if you send me emails, yours is part of that. Next slide, please. Okay, so you have contact details. You have this where you have about us, founding dates. So my account has been existing since 2015. You have your products. You can actually display your product, put images that show your product. Next slide, we are almost done. Then we can take questions. Here are the products that I put up, and you can also do that for your business. And these are the cover. So there are some things you need to learn when it comes to social media, and I think that's the next slide. Some key things you must have. We'll quickly run through that, and we end the session. You must learn how to design by yourself or hire someone. Next slide. If you don't know how to do it by yourself, you can hire someone. But there is a tool that you can use. Canva is the simplest I've ever used and most flexible. So here are 12 things you must have. How marketing works. Remember, that's where we started from. Understanding of the social media and how it runs. Ideal customer profile. Remember, we talked about that. Your business, marketing, and social media goal. You must have a plan. What do you post on Monday? What will you post on Tuesday? What will you do Thursday? What do you do on Friday? You must have a plan. And I mentioned design skill earlier. Copy and content writing skills. A lot of people ask me, Julian, I don't know how to tell stories. Who taught your mother how to tell you stories when you were growing up? Don't let people bamboozle you. Now everybody is a coach. They coach everything that you know you can do before. Don't make anybody leave you redundant. Crack your brain. You can tell stories. I don't know your business as much as you do. So even if I want to consult for you, I'll be asking you the questions, you will be giving me the answers. So most things we're spending money on, we don't need to spend money on them. Learn, go and check what your competition, especially abroad, they are doing, and replicate. Write, try and learn to write like them. These things are simple to do. Knowledge of useful apps. Now, there are apps you need to learn how to use. Even the design tool is an app. So there are some apps that help Instagram or Facebook be what it is. So you need those apps. Video editing apps. I discovered one video app, and I've been rocking it since last week. So you need all that to help you. Eyes for beautiful images. Some people don't know how to take beautiful images. Fantastic products that God has blessed you with, but your picture quality don't make people buy. You take it in darkness. Nobody sees it. Live video. How many of us do live videos? You do live. How many of us do live videos as a business owner? When you do live video, it's like you're talking to your people the way I'm talking to you. You can't go to Abuja, but you can use live video to head to Abuja from here. So people like to talk with you. People like to hear you talk. So you must learn that live video skill. I know a lot of us are shy. I run live video challenge for people that attend my classes, and they've broken the yoke of shyness and all that. Remember I said business is a spiritual thing, so we even do the job of deliverance and all that. We deliver you from the power of shyness. You will start doing live videos and you will rock it. So the first time you will be afraid, you might not even like the sound of your voice. Like me, I never liked the sound of my voice the first time. And at the point I'm like, look, if I'm selling value, forget the voice. Take the value and move on. Okay? So the last thing, patience. If you don't have patience, social media will not work for you. You will post something today, and you will want to delete it tomorrow because people did not like it. And let me gladly announce to you, Instagram is going to reduce the number of likes when you put out posts. Because people are getting depressed, committing suicide because of the competition out there. So they are reducing. If you put out posts now, I'm sure you have been experiencing it. If you used to have like 10, 20 likes, you will not even have up to 4 very soon. So likes will not be a yardstick anymore for posts. It's engagement. And that comes from your story. Okay? I think we are done. Let me see the last slide if I have. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next question. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for her, please. Thank you very much, Ife, for enlightening us. I learned so much. There's so much I don't know about. I just have those accounts. There's so much I don't know. And I'm so glad I was here to learn. So thank you very much. We may not be able to take questions because we promised the people who came to exhibit that we would come back at 6 p.m. so that they could round up. So we're going to round up now. If we can get Ife to come back.